Within the walls of the hospital, many of our truly amazing teachers taught me how to be a doctor. But you, my friends and colleagues of the class of 2021, taught me what it means to accept my responsibility as a physician inside and outside hospital walls. What it means to care for the health of each of my patients, but also their communities. What it means to pair an unquenchable thirst for better solutions to alleviate suffering with an unyielding drive to make those same solutions equitable. What it means to carry a collective hope that we can do better for each other. You taught me that when we wear our white coats, we give our patients and our communities an implicit promise that we will do everything in our power to care for their health and their person. Thank you to the class of 2021 for giving me the opportunity not only to witness and grow from, but to stand here today and memorialize and commemorate the commitment that you have made to be more than prescribers of medicine, but to truly care for the humanity of your patients and to be hopefuls and actors in positive social change, to accept the responsibility of the white coat inside and outside the hospital. Welcome to the class of 2021, our loved ones and our mentors, all of whom without we would surely not be here today. We are the class of 2021, but we are status post the year 2020. We've been through a lot together, but we've also done a lot together. Just as our white coats brushed against each other on morning rounds as we cared for patient after patient, our white coats also brushed against each other as we marched for Black lives, demanding a better future and hoping for one for our children. And just as we stood together as we dirtied our scrubs with blood around the operating table, we also stood together as we sweat in our scrubs, serving our communities through food pantries and free clinics during the long COVID summer. And just as we mourned the loss of our patients and are more resilient for it, we also mourn the loss of loved ones and are more human for it, and the loss of a colleague to the disparities of medicine, and we are more determined for it. I want to share with you two things that you taught me about accepting the beautiful burden of the white coat and keeping our promise to our patients and our communities. The first is the power of showing up, not just to work in the morning, but to each conversation with each patient, each check-in with a colleague, each evening with family. See, in a few short weeks, you'll be drowning in work, walking down the hall to speak to a difficult patient, and you will know, I only have 5 minutes with this fine gentleman. What you taught me is this: we are and we act based upon the stories that we tell ourselves about ourselves. If I'm walking down that hall frustrated by this patient, and I tell myself this story, I'm too busy for this patient, this nurse, too busy for all of this, I'll act a certain way. But if I walk down that hall telling myself, yes, I have 5 minutes, I only have 5 minutes, but for these 5 minutes, that fine gentleman is the most important person in my life. And for these 5 minutes, I'm all in for this patient, this nurse, I'm all in for this, I'm here. It makes all the difference, and that's the power of showing up. At home, when you get there, I may be busy, but for the time that I'm here, you're not only the most important people in my life, but I'm here, I'm all in. You taught me the power of showing up, and it's hard to do, but it's powerful to live by. The second thing you taught me is stepping up to the plate, seeing a void and filling that void. I was at the student outreach clinic and I was assigning patients. That day there was a patient that we all loved dearly, but she had so much going on and the management of her illnesses was going to be long and draining. And as I was getting ready to assign the patient, some averted their gaze and some turned away, but one of you stood up and said, "Put me in, coach. Put me in, coach." Not so much to me, but to the world. Not so much because he can solve our patients' problems, but because he had hope enough to try. Put me in, coach. That's the chorus that I heard in you all from the first day I had the privilege of hearing your stories. And that's the chorus that I hear today in the class of 2021. Put me in, coach. A chorus to the world, not because we think we can solve the world's problems, and we can, but because the suffering of our brothers and sisters is worth working for and we carry enough hope to work for them. Immigrants and people of color living more difficult and shorter lives because of health disparities. Put me in, coach. Losing our mothers too early due to childbirth here and around the world. Put me in, coach. A shortage of primary care providers here and around the nation. Put me in, coach. Put me in, coach. A chorus to the world from the Indiana University School of Medicine class of 2021. We are the class of 2021, but we are status post the year 2020, and after going through COVID together, I believe we're uniquely positioned to meet the challenges of the world. We are here today to celebrate more than 2 new letters behind our names. We are here to celebrate and memorialize our individual and collective journeys of betterment, not just to enrich ourselves, but to increase our capacity to serve, not to take more, but to increase how much we can give. And today, we leave here with more than 2 new letters behind our names. If we so choose, we leave today with a burden heavier than the MCAT in Step 1, a burden heavier than AOA in a good match, the burden of the suffering of our brothers and sisters, from disease and affliction, from oppression and inequality, the burden of our patients and our communities. And if we so choose, we can leave here today with the heaviest and most beautiful burden of all, the burden of hope, that we can, should, and will do better for each other. And I can hear Amit saying, "Put me in, coach." Thank you, and congratulations.